Our next guest, once upon a time, struggled in poverty, and as a means to put food on the table for his family, he dug ditches to survive. Today, he is a New York Times best-selling author, film and TV producer, international speaker, and megachurch pastor of the 30,000-seater church, the Potter's House. Next, we go to Dallas, Texas, where I sat down with T.D. Jakes to discuss his latest book, Instinct, The Power to Unleash Your Inborn Drive, his personal life journey, and how to realize the instinct in us all.
Welcome to the Potter's House.
Thank you so much, and welcome to the warmth of Dallas as well.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you so much. We're going to have a great time. We're going to be focusing on dreams, dream makers, and how do we make that dream a reality. We're going to have a lot of fun today.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. Let's
Sounds
do it.
good. Sounds good. When you were a boy growing up in Charleston, West Virginia, let's start there.
Okay.
What kind of things did you dream about becoming at that stage?
Wow. I think I was an imaginative kid, which is a nice way for being a bad kid. No, very creative, always loved people, always was a deep thinker. The interesting thing is my mother was a public speaker, and she spoke, she was a Delta, and she spoke for her sororities, and I was a little boy going to hear her speak. And one day at 8 years old, sitting in the back of the car, I told her, right now I go to hear you speak, and they call me Miss Jake's son. But the time will come, you'll come to hear me speak, and they'll call you Tom Jake's mother. And that came to pass. And I think that I caught glimpses of my destiny from early ages. But I also think that I caught glimpses of mine because I was birthed by parents who were dream chasers. And you'd be surprised when your parents are dream chasers. They teach you to believe in God and to believe in yourself and to believe in work and ethics and drive and determination. I watched my father fight to build a business with a mop and a bucket into 52 employees, janitorial service, contracts all over the state of West Virginia. I watched him in the fight. I watched him go to work tired. I watched him solve problems and conflicts and go through layoffs and hiring more people and all kinds of issues. So-and-so lost the keys and didn't lock up the building. We lost the contract. We're going, you know, the drama of a dream. A lot of people, when they think of a dream, they don't think of drama. So when they encounter drama, they think they've missed the dream. But there's drama in the process of birthing your dream. And to have the intuitive skills to know that the drama doesn't mean that the dream is deferred. It is just a part of the unfolding of the ultimate conquest. I've learned that it is the things that happen along the way and not just the destination. That's where you get the fortitude to be who you are.
When you were younger and you're seeing these visions and dreams of where you want to go, what did you do and how did that kind of reflect to your present day reality at that time? Because a lot of people, you know, the dichotomy of what they're dreaming about and what they see when they open their eyes after they've stopped dreaming. How did you make your way through that?
I think that the dream told me that what I saw with my eyes was not my end. It stopped me from believing that my situation was my destiny. I remember being in this little raggedy house, and I'd just gotten married, and I had 2 kids. I'd lost my job at the chemical plant. I couldn't keep the lights on. Everything was going bad. And I walked into the house, and I spoke to my house, and I said, "You're lying on me." I said, "I just want you to know I don't believe you. I live here, but I do not believe that this is who I am." And that resistance to refuse to accept something that is beneath what you have conceived in your heart to be God's purpose for your life, to resist the physical, the obvious for the inobvious, to dare to have the audacity to believe that what is within you is stronger than what is around you. That's what dreams are made of.
Speaking about what's around you, I was looking at some things from your past and how you had the nickname Bible Boy, how you used to, and I can attest to this, how you would preach to imaginary crowds and so forth. And I thought to myself, you know, children engaging in imaginary play is not necessarily different, but you had a very focused imaginary play, you know, and I was curious to know what was, if any, do you feel that gave such a concentrated engagement in your imagination at that time?
You know, the funny thing about getting older is that you get to look back at things and you've watched your movie and others play. I think that everything you ever will be, you already are in your core. And I think that they call me Bible boy, and I used to preach in the woods and in the shower, and, walking around in the attic, just 'cause it was in me. It was in me. Nobody knew it. Nobody acknowledged it. Nobody believed in it. I didn't even understand it, but it was in me. And I think the point is to look at your children and look for the DNA of a dream, the DNA of a destiny. It's embryonic, it's not developed, it's rough, it's crude, and there are conflicts in your personhood that says there's no way somebody like you could do something like that. But in spite of those conflicts, because everybody has them, to identify that in your children and to encourage them to be their highest and best version of themselves is very important.
I got to ask you, Bishop, when people look at you today, could be staff here all over the world, they see the best-selling author, the playwright, the senior pastor, this wonderful edifice we're in right now. But when you were younger and you looked yourself in the mirror and none of this had manifested as yet, what did you honestly see looking back at you? What was really running through? What was running through your mind?
It wasn't this, I can tell you that. Because had I seen this, it would have horrified me. It wouldn't have drawn me. It would scared me to death. I didn't have the faith to see this, to be able to see this and not see it as threatening. What I did see is that I'm different. There's something different about me. I'm supposed to do something. I don't know what it is. It's like being in a room where the steam has filled up the room. You can see, but not clearly. I knew that I was different. I knew I was supposed to make a difference, but I didn't know whether I had what it took to get it done. I didn't know whether anybody would believe in me, and I wasn't even sure what it was. I just knew there was something pulling at me.
Take us to that moment about when you visited your home in West Virginia. You looked through the mirror and you spoke to your 26-year-old self, a very well-known story. But how difficult was it? Because there's a lot of people from all different stripes who are saying, on the way here to this interview, the taxi driver had things to say about the ministry. But I want to know, what was it like in the dire areas? Because it's hard to motivate when you're facing hell face to face. What was that like?
At 26, I was horrified. I'd hit a pothole in life. I was trying to be a father and a husband, didn't really know what I was doing, lost my job. Income had gone down. It was really, really tough. I was afraid, scared I wasn't gonna be able to get up. I mean, literally could not feed my kids. And for me, there's nothing more important than being able to take care of the people I love. To come back 30 years later and look in that house, where every nightmare I could think of in terms of worry and stress and failure had happened, where I had walked the streets to catch the bus because they'd taken my car to trying to get them to hold my utilities on, where I had to go up to the neighbor's house to use the phone for job opportunities, to look into that house and to say to myself 30 years later, you made it. I don't even want to go there. Emotional, grateful.
Was it the desire you're not going to fail that brought you through those hard times? Because I feel the world, they have their dreams, they know they want it, but what do you speak to yourself in those rough patches?
I thought I was going to fail. I was scared to death. I had nothing but a promise from God. I had just left the power company where I went to beg them not to cut the power off, to give me a couple of days, and they basically laughed at me and cut the power off. And I was walking down the street crying, and I really did think I was going to end up homeless. And God said something to me I will never forget. He said, I will not suffer thy foot to be moved. That was it. But oh, it was music because I was scared. And, and I'd love to tell you that I walked down the street, somebody hired me, and all of a sudden I had a car. No. I had a couple of years of tough plowing, but I had a promise. I will not suffer thy foot to be moved. And it kept me going, that I was going to be okay. I just didn't know how or when. And it taught me not to give up. I'm glad for the fight. I'm glad it didn't come easy. I'm glad I was pushed to my limit. I'm glad I almost collapsed. I'm glad because I found out that I was tougher than I thought I was, and that I did have the power within me to maintain my focus and keep on moving.
You speak about maintaining. Talk to us about how viewers all across Canada, how do we survive the meantime? You have the dream, reality or life hits. You still have the dream, you still have a word maybe from God. Many who are watching are seculars as well, so maybe they don't even have a faith backbone there. What do you do? How do you survive the meantime?
If you can't do it, get around somebody who did. If you can't be it, be near it, be around it. Faith is contagious. Mentoring is more than taking a class. Watching somebody else in the fight, I cannot tell you. You would think that the greatest mentoring opportunity is to watch somebody succeed, but it's not. The greatest mentoring opportunity is to watch you struggle and watch you suffer and watch you do it scared and watch you do it not knowing whether the check is going to cash or not, and to see trouble so that when you're in the meantime, you will not say that this is a sign that the dream is counterfeit. You will then associate that this is a part of the process.
You talked about defining instinct, that inner drive within us. It seems so simple when we hear it audibly. Oh, that's instinct. But why is something so simple oftentimes so hard for people to tap into? Why are so many missing that?
That's why I wrote the book, because I think that so many times we're busy looking around us, but we're not looking in us. And I really believe in God, and I believe that we've been created by the Master's design, and I don't think that we're accidents or incidents, and I think that He hardwired you for where He intended for you to function. And I think that sometimes we're looking for other people, our wives, our husbands, our boyfriends, our coworkers, our coaches, to see something in us, but until you see it in you, somebody else seeing it in you, it doesn't do any good. You have to know that you're valuable, and you have to know that you're worth loving, and you have to know that you bring something to the world worth listening to. If I walk out on this stage and I don't believe in my heart that if what I have to say is worth listening to, then they won't believe it. And I think sometimes we're trying to convince the crowd of something that we are not convinced of ourselves.
Instincts, destiny. Someone is watching this and they may be finding an instinct within themselves to say, you know what, I've tried to intellectualize my life. They're watching, they may have an instinct that maybe there is a greater power they have to turn their life over to. What steps can they take towards finding that relationship with God? They're surrounded by, as we spoke today, fear, their present realities. They feel that tug, destiny, they feel an instinct. Help those who are watching. How do they get their way to God?
First of all, you need to understand that God loves you, and loves you having known all about you. There's no better love in the world than the love of somebody who's seen all of your dirt and still likes you anyway. That's amazing, that you're accepted in the beloved, and that you can come honestly and say, Lord, I know I'm broken in places that even you would want me to be better, but I sure am grateful that you love me in spite of the cracks in my life. And I'm sorry that I have not consulted you or relied upon you, but I want you to live in my heart and to be present in my life, and I promise to engage you in every area of my life and to make you the central focus of my life. Lord Jesus, come into my heart. Come on in and help me clean it up.
Bishop, thank you so much for your time, sir. Excellent, excellent.
Good deal. I enjoyed it.